G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Now you probably clicked on this video because of the number one, the title and the thumbnail. Now I thought it was pretty important to make this video especially for you guys that have already got one of these cars, or maybe you've purchased one, you're waiting on it to arrive, or you're actually considering buying this RC car. Now this RC car, don't get me wrong, it's an enjoyable and fun RC car. It looks awesome, very nice scaled look, and I had a lot of fun actually testing this one out. About a month ago I reviewed this one, and you know, it's got good power. It's fun to, you know, drift it around, do burnouts with it and all that sort of thing. It's a pretty fast little RC car, and it's, like I mentioned in that video, it's pretty much exactly like the Rocket S16 Porsches, the 911s that ZD Racing released about a year or so ago. Now, during my review, I had no issues with this car at all. It worked perfectly, ran well, and I had a lot of fun with it, like I just said. Now, it wasn't until I put my camera gear back in the car, while I was out there, I thought I'll keep running this EX16 because I had a bit of battery life left in the LiPo. And sometimes I do that once I finish a video. If I feel like to, if I don't go home straight away, I'll just mess around with the RC cars or trucks a little bit after actually filming the review. So that's exactly what I did with the EX16. I was running around the parking lot for about a couple more minutes, and then I heard a noise. Basically, I actually initially thought either, number one, the pinion got loose, okay, or I chewed up a spur gear. Now, as you can see here, I'll just raise the camera a bit. My second guess was correct. As you can see, the plastic spur gear has been chewed out significantly there, right? So that's actually what happened. Now, because all the gearing on this car is exposed due to the chassis design, there must have been a small rock or some sand that actually got in there, right? Now, at the time I thought, well, that was disappointing, you know, but no big deal. I'll just go online and order another spur gear, probably a couple of bucks. I'll either go on Banggood, see if they've got them there, or I'll go on AliExpress or eBay or something like that. It should be no big deal. But it wasn't until I went home, hopped on the computer and Googled ZD Racing EX16 parts, was then I got a bit of a shock. There is no parts listed as yet, either on AliExpress, Banggood, eBay, for this particular model. So what I did, I typed in Rocket S16, the Porsche version. There are a few little parts there, but I couldn't actually find what I wanted, okay, which is the actual spur gear. So there's a bit of an issue there as well with that particular model. Now, had a look at the user manual and got the actual code number there of the part, and it didn't come up with anything on Google. So it got me wondering. I thought, well, what am I going to do here? You know, I might have to strip one of my other, I've got two S16s, I've got a brushed and brushed version. I might have to strip one of those down just to get this one going. My last option was to go back on to Banggood, and I just typed in the search bar, ZD Racing parts. Now, by typing that in the search bar, basically all the parts for ZD Racing cars came up. All the different scales, all the different models, okay? Except obviously the EX16 and the S16, there wasn't parts that I wanted, okay? Only a couple of little parts, I think wheels and stuff like that. So anyway, after scrolling a couple of pages through the parts on Banggood for ZD Racing, I finally come across this, guys. And it's for a totally different model, okay? But by eyeballing it and eyeballing the car and the actual user manual parts list, this one looks like it is compatible, okay? Here is the SKU number. All right, so I bought two of these from Banggood. They cost me $13.27. They're actually, say it's on special at 38% off. Usually they're $21.50 Australian dollars, that is. So I picked this up for, I picked a couple of them up for $13.20 Australian each. So maybe about 10 bucks. American dollars, okay? And this is free shipping. I'm not too sure if you buy it from and you're in America whether they're going to charge you for shipping, but as you can see, it comes with a full diff assembly, spur gear, and obviously the diff casing, okay? Now the part number for this one is 6262, okay? That's what the listing says on Banggood, It says ZD Racing Differential Gearbox Set for 1/16 scale, 9051, 9053 and 9055 ZD Racing cars, okay? Now, I'm not too sure what models they are. It might have been the older 16 scale models that this one is suited to. But by eyeballing it, it looks like it's going to definitely fit the EX16 here, alright? So that's what I'm going to do today, guys. First off, what I'll do, I'll put this up on the stand and I'll show you the issue with it, alright? So I'm just going to do that quickly. Okay, guys, so I've got it powered on the stand, okay? So as you can see, it's slipping and grabbing, okay? So, yeah, we're going to take off the shell now and I'll show you the rear diff assembly, okay? And I'll compare it to this one, and then I'm just going to install this and hope for the best. Alright, guys, so I'll just take off the body shell. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to take the battery out. Okay, we got the 2 receiver wires there for the lights. Take them out, put the bodywork aside. Okay, so if we have a closer look at the way the actual diff casing looks, okay, go around this side, you can see on the side here, okay, and if I grab the replacement one, looks exactly the same. So we should have some luck. As you can see, these points up here where the shock tower goes on look like they are identical. Alright, and on the back here, once again, you can see all these mounting points. Get the other one in frame. They look identical. Alright, so we should have no issues. All the holes look like they're going to line up. Diff cups are exactly the same. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to get started and get my Phillips screwdriver out. Obviously take these top ones off. These 4 bottom ones off. Okay. And yeah, just take it apart. A couple of these ones as well. Okay, guys, well, it only took about a minute and I'm back. So I just took those 2 screws off the top and the 4 from the bottom there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got all my screws here. The 2 for the top, 4 from the bottom. Okay, and on here, that's the top ones and the bottom ones on the bottom here near the diff. Okay. So yeah, that's all that you need to do. Very simple. And the whole subframe comes out, as you can see. Okay, now the diff looks fine. There was a bit of grease in there, as you can see. It's pretty wet. They do have a metal crown here, as well as the output gear, the pinion gear, coming from the spur end. That is metal, but it's partially plastic as well. Okay, you got the little spider gears that are plastic on this one. Okay, so all I have to do now is to release this from the actual subframe here is undo these 2 that hold the actual pins in for the swing arms, and these 2 here, okay, that are holding that piece in, and possibly these lower 2 here. So another 6 screws should be able to get that diff out and put the new one in. Very simple. Okay, and before I take it out, have a look at the spur gear here, how it got chewed up and mangled. Okay, look at that. Now from this angle you can see the inner part of the spur gear is still perfect. Now running these cars, you know, especially if they've got exposed gears in parking lots like I do, or car parks as we call them here in Australia, these things are going to happen, you know. Especially on those gravel type surfaces with the gravel asphalt and sand, and that's exactly what happened in this case. So anyway, guys, I'm going to take those screws out and we'll replace the diff that I bought from Banggood. Should be good to go again. Okay guys, so I've got the new one beside the old one here. Now I've noticed a slight difference here, which is no big deal. I've got to cut this little tab here. That's just part of the actual manufacturing process. You know, like when you get kits, you know, the old model kits and all the parts are on a frame. It's basically what applies here. You just got to cut that little thing off there and it'll make it all flush. It's not needed. But other than that, looks like we're in some luck here. I also noticed, if you notice, the diff cups are a little bit longer on this one. Okay, just a little bit longer. The new one here has more of an elongated hole for the actual dog bone pins to go through, where the old one here has got more of a circular hole, but that shouldn't pose any problems. All right, so I'm going to go ahead obviously and grease this diff. It is bone dry, as you can see, so I'm going to add my own grease in there, and then I'm just going to install it and hope for the best, guys. Should be all right. They look pretty much identical. All right, so as you can see, I just snip that tab off and I've put a bunch of grease in there. So I'm going to put it all back together again now, guys, and let's test it out. Hopefully it runs sweet again. Okay guys, as you can see, subframe is all put together and complete now. Okay, we've got grease in the diff. Okay, diff's working perfectly, so it should. It's brand new. All right, so all I've got to do now, guys, is just reinstall those 6 screws back on the actual car and the chassis itself, and we're good to go. Okay guys, it's all complete. Okay, all back together. It's feeling pretty good, nice and smooth. Okay, so let's put it up on the little stand there. Moment of truth here. Let me just adjust the camera angle. Okay, so beautiful. Perfect. Reverse. You have it. Back on the road again, alright? Okay, perfect. Excellent. So you have it, guys. That is the video on the replacement parts that I found, especially the whole diff casing, diff and spur gear for the EX16. This will also apply to the S16 rocket Porsche. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was important to put this video out because I had issues with actually finding the parts myself. All right guys, well, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully this video is very helpful to all you guys that own the EX16 and have come across this same issue as what I did with the spur gear stripping out because of the gears being exposed. These things happen. So yeah, as you can see, it was a very simple repair, about a dozen screws. You know, there was only 6 to take the actual subframe off the actual chassis, and just another 6 to release the actual diff housing with the spur gear included from the actual shock assembly, the shock towers and the suspension. And yeah, then it was just a quick swap over and then put it back in the car. So now I'll be definitely leaving a link for you guys where you can get this from Banggood like I did. I've done all the hard work searching for the part for you. As you can see, I was a bit frustrated when I couldn't find any parts for the ZD Racing EX16 as yet online anywhere. Now all I ask from you guys is that if you did like this video, give it a good old thumbs up for me. You know, it will really help the algorithm on YouTube for this particular video. And doing so, it will actually help people find this video if they are searching for this particular issue. Alright guys, so it will come up on the top of the list, I guess, of the search engine. And also, like I said before, I'll be leaving a link below, so if you do decide to purchase from that link, I'll be very appreciative. It will definitely help me out a lot as an RC YouTube content creator. As you can see, the parts are very cheap. Hopefully it helped you out, guys, and yeah, we're back in action again. I can rip this Hoonigan Mustang out again. I'd suggest maybe get a couple of these ones. Definitely if you own either this model or the S16 Porsche from last year, the Rocket. As you can see, they are compatible with this particular car. Like I said before, the user manual had the different parts list number for this particular model. It didn't match up with the one that I purchased off Banggood. So yeah, this particular one here in the parts section, it was a totally different part number. But as you can see, there's hardly any differences between the two except the drive cups. So anyway guys, if you're new to the channel, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and consider subscribing, liking the video like I said, and leave your comment down below. Has this issue happened with you, with either the S16 Porsche or the new EX16? Alright guys, so I've done all the hard work for you guys. I end up finding a part that is compatible, and hopefully you guys can make some good use from this video, alright, and purchase your own replacement parts. Alright guys, well, thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you on the next one, and until next time, happy RCing and enjoy the hobby. Have a good day guys. Catch you on the next one.